Hey everyone, it's Tom Kradze with another Rockstar Minute, and today we're talking about the difference between little green houses and big red hotels. Probably one of the most interesting questions we get from new investors is, hey, do I start with little green houses or do I just jump into big multi-unit apartment buildings and commercial office space, kind of like the big red hotel? And the things to consider in these two worlds are this. With little green houses, you're in Canada, you're always going to get the most financing options on residential houses. Canadian banks consider them the most liquid piece of real estate in Canada. They have the most financing options. So it's always going to be the easiest to get financing options on little green houses. Also, on residential houses, you're going to have the most strategies that you can put on them. For example, you can rent a house out as a straight rental. You can turn it into a legal second suite and increase your income on the property by renting it out to two families as a duplex or a legal second suite. You can do a rent-to-own strategy on it. If you're close to some universities, you can do a student rental on it. So there's a lot of different strategies you can use on a single family home. And when you want to eventually sell it, it's the easiest property to sell. It's a very liquid piece of property. On bigger properties like this, some of the things to consider is all the Canadian banks don't all have the greatest financing options. You might have to go to a company like First National directly. You might have to work with mortgage brokers that you're going to pay fees and get the financing. It shouldn't stop anybody, but just be aware the financing options are a little bit different. And the revenue that you're going to generate from a bigger property like a commercial office space or a large multi-unit residential, it's tied to the income that the property generates and not the residential real estate market like these are. So the value is tied to the income that it generates typically. And the calculation that most people use to evaluate these things is called a capitalization rate. So that's how these things are valued. If you Google that up, you can learn a little bit more about that. But these aren't going to jump up in value as fast as possibly these. And in the flip side, they might not come down in value if the residential market corrects as fast because the incomes kind of stay pretty solid. In general, so one more thing. So income, the value is tied to the income. There's less financing options. Now we know a lot of people who've made good money on these properties right across Canada. If you can buy a multi-unit building that is renting out below market value and you can go in and fix up all the units and then refinancing it, you can create a lot of value, pull out your money. There is great money to be made here. Just be aware that in general, in the Greater Toronto area, you're going to make probably about 4.5% on your money. So for example, the office building that Rockstar is in right now, we do not own it, but it's probably worth about $12 million. If you were to buy that 4-story building in Oakville, you're probably going to make about 4.5% on your money. With the strategies we discussed here, there's a lot of opportunity to make bigger money here faster. So in general, the way we sum it up really quickly is that we tell people, hey, look, when you're trying to make money, start in this world. When you've made your money, park it in this world. Hopefully that gives you something to think about. Until next time, your life, your terms.